Dear friends, today I will start Module 3 Project Management. The first question that comes to our mind is what is project? What we mean by project? Project is nothing but a set of interrelated activities which should be executed in such a order that the entire work is completed. So it's not, I've already told you in the previous classes that the entire project is divided into many subparts, many activities, so that we can manage all and so that it will be completed in time. It should not be delayed. Project management. Project management means it's a use of, that project consists of so many resources like men, material and machines. So project management means the use of specific knowledge, skills and tools and techniques to achieve project goals within the given constraint. That is your project management. And project management has three phases: planning, scheduling and controlling. So planning phase, first I have already that planning and scheduling, these two phases means we plan the actual project. Planning and schedule, that means till now the project has not started. Just we are all doing all sort of planning. Scheduling means about the time span. Schedule means timing of each and every activity. And then controlling means actually we have started the project. So under the planning phase, you can see first we divide the project into different activities. We estimate the time requirement for each activity, and then what will be the precedence relationship among all these activities. Then we construct the network by means of arrow diagram. Then scheduling. In case of scheduling means time period. Start and scheduling is start and end times of each and every activity, so that we can know that how much time each activity will take so that it will be completed. Then third is the control phase. Then first two phases are accomplished before the start of the actual project. That means our planning and schedule are done before the start of actual project, that I have already told you. So this control phase comes into operation during the execution of the project. We use arrows, networks and time chart for the continuous monitoring and progress of the project. So the network in the form of arrow diagrams, we used to draw it. So we have to regularly and judiciously check whether the process is within the control or not. The network will be updated if there is any variation in the proposed schedule. In the proposed schedule means whatever we have planned, we want to check whether is there any deviation in the current phase or not. So that comes under our control phase. Then control phase, it highlights the bottlenecks during execution of the project and tells how to remove these bottlenecks and complete the project in time. So these are the three phases of our project management. So planning, scheduling and control. Then that planning phase as well as scheduling phase we have learned in the previous chapters. Scheduling, we have already studied how to reduce the time taken by each and every machine using Johnson's rule. Scheduling and planning, we have done about aggregate planning, isn't it? So we have done all these things. Once proper planning has been done, proper scheduling has been done, then we go for the control phase. But all of these three phases requires our networking. So different tools and techniques that are used in project management are, you can see that it is bar chart, velocity chart, velocity diagrams, and second is the network analysis. Network analysis also known as arrow diagram. So these are the tools that that a project manager uses. So bar chart, I think everybody knows, it's a two-dimensional pictorial representation of a project. So, but the main drawback is that it is suited to only small projects, and it cannot consider uncertainties in activity duration nor represent the interrelationships between the various activities of the project. Velocity diagram also suited to very small one. So we come to the part network analysis. Network analysis is nothing but the graphical representation of a project's operation. And actually I have already told you that a project consists of so many interrelated activities, and once the preceding activity is completed, then the next activity can be started. So in networking techniques, what happens that what events and activities are completed to reach the objective of the project. And then in this technique that I'll tell you in this chapter how to draw the networks. And there are then again in networking techniques there are again two techniques, PERT and CPM. I think this is in your course. And PERT is nothing but program evaluation and review technique, and CPM is critical path method. So PERT and CPM are the two most widely used networking technique, and the different terms used in networks are network is also known as arrow diagram, I have already told you. Then activity, it consists of number one, activity. Activity is represented by an arrow. You can see in the figure activity is denoted by arrow, and here first it starts from node I and it ends at, we can see that, node J, and node I is also known as event. First one I is the tail event and J is the head event. And activity is a task to be done that consumes time, effort, money and resources. So this is the activity. So head event and tail event. So activity is denoted by arrow. Then comes our event. Event, you can see I and J, these two are events. Two events are connected by one activity. So activity I have already told you. For activity we draw one arrow. Activity is represented by arrow, and you can see that events are denoted by circle, and we used to give the numbers. Let's say it is I, and let's say the head event is J. So it represents start and end of an activity. These events represent the start and end of activities, that is beginning and end points of an activity. These are called as event on roads or nodes, and it does not consume any resources. I to J. The figure shows that it processes from I to J. Then path. Path is an unbroken chain of activity arrows connecting the initial event to other events. Yeah, and it should be remembered that it is unbroken chain. It is a continuous chain of activities, so that we get the path. So many paths we will be getting while working it out. Then what is network? Network is a graphical representation of logically and sequentially connected arrows and nodes representing activities and events of a project. These activities can be further classified into predecessor activity, successor activity and dummy activity. So you can see that an activity, first one is the predecessor activity. You can see from the figure, this one is the node A and this one is the node B, and predecessor activity, then successor activity, and then succeeding event, predecessing event. Then here we can see that at node C there is a dotted line, dotted arrow, that is known as dummy activity. Dummy activity actually does not consume either any resource or time. It is represented by a dotted arrow line, and it represents the dependency of one activity on the other. Then here the predecessor and successor activities. Predecessor activities are activity which must be completed before a particular activity starts, and successor activity, those activities which must be followed a particular activity. So these are about the three activities. You can see predecessor activity, it should be completed before a particular activity. Successor activity and dummy activity. When sometimes there is no connectivity between different activities, that time we use dummy activity to complete the network. You see, this is the dummy activity I am drawing. Dummy activity is always denoted by dotted line. And it is from node C to node B. In the figure it is very clear. Then network construction, when one problem is given to us, the main thing is that we should be able to draw the network correctly. And here and if there is no connectivity, we use dummy activity by means of dotted arrow, so that a dependency of one activity on the other is represented nicely. So here in this problem we are seeing that there is a connectivity between activity C and B by means of dotted arrow. So in this way network has been corrected. But for network construction, some rules must be followed while we draw the network. What are these rules? These rules are: number 1, each activity is represented by one and only one arrow. Okay, suppose let's say activity 1 2. Activity 1 2 means it should be one and only one number that should be represented by this arrow. See this network I am drawing. So each activity is represented by one and only one arrow. This is the rule number 1. Then the network should have a starting node and a unique completion node. A starting node is known as tail event or tail node. Starting event and a end node is known as the head event. So we can see that the rule number 1 and 2 says that you can see that no two that is 1 to 2. It can 2 to 1 can another event activity cannot be in this direction. Second one, it is from 1 to 2. It is the correct one, and it is a tail event, and it is and this 2 is the head event. So there is always a unique completion node. This is the duration. Let's say it's a duration 4. So 1 to 2 having the 4 duration, again 2 to 1 6 duration. It is not possible. then the node 2 activities should have the same starting and node and the same ending node. It is not possible. Again, the length of the arrow bear no relationship to the activity time. If I use a longer arrow, that doesn't mean time is longer. Time is fixed. Then the arrow in the network indicates the logical condition of dependency. That means after 1 to 2, you can see that all the diagram arrows represent in which way you are moving. You are moving in forward direction. The direction of arrow indicates the direction of workflow. So that is obvious. Then duration of dummy activity is 0. No event can be represented in a project before the completion at precedence activity. I have already told you, once the precedence activity is completed, then only we go for the successor activity. So that's why no set of activities should have, and no set of activities should form a circular loop. When you form a circular loop, means your starting point is the end point. That means where from you have started the production process, again you are coming to reaching and coming to the same loop. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. You have to work and produce a final product. So that's why circular loop is not acceptable. It's wrong. Circular loop. Then comes our critical path. Critical path of a project network is the longest path in the network. In the network, you have seen so many arrows, events and activities we make, and we form a network. Critical path is the project which is having the longest path in the network, because path means there are so many passages or so many ways will be there to reach the end event, but you have to choose which path is having the longest time. That is the critical path of that network. To establish and it is done to estimate the total project duration, to assign the starting and finishing time to all the activities. So that means by drawing the network, we can determine the total project duration, starting and finishing times of all the activities, and as well as the critical path. So that's why critical path is very important. It helps in checking the actual progress, again the scheduled duration of the project. So total duration needed for the project completion, we used to get it, and we categorize the activities or the projects as activities as critical or non-critical. In the subsequent chapters, you will be knowing which there are, you know that a network consists of so many activities. So which activities are critical and which activities are non-critical, that you will know. Critical activities means that if you cannot, critical activities means you cannot, the activity in the network, if you cannot, because the delay in its start will further delay the entire project completion time, so which is not acceptable. So that is a critical activity. So if you see a number of critical activities, means you have to check its start and end finish times, and because we know that delay in its start will delay the entire project duration. Non-critical activities doesn't so important because it doesn't affect the duration of the entire project. So that is our non-critical activities. And who are non-critical activities? All the activities except critical activities are our non-critical activities. So this is the critical activity, non-critical activity, and we can see that critical path, we have already learned critical path, that is CPM method is critical path method. You see I am drawing the network 1, 2, then this is 3, 4, you see there are, from this figure you can see that at the end you can reach by different ways, different paths are there. So which one is in every network you can find, one is the starting event, starting node, and 4 is the end node. To reach from 1 to 4 there are 3 passages, 1, 2, 3, 4, first option. Second option is 1 5 6 4. Third option is 1 5 3 7 4. So you three option you got it. So out of the three option, which option is the critical path? How will you know? If the path which takes the maximum time or maximum duration, that is our critical path. So and you know that suppose this is a critical path, you can see that critical path consists of many critical activities like 1 2 2 3 and 3 4. Let's say it takes 14 days. Arbitrarily I am taking for this problem 1 5 1 5 5 6 and 6 4. It takes 18 days. Then third option, it takes around 12 days. So three options are there and three timings are there for this problem. So which one will be the critical path? It's obvious. You can know that it takes a maximum duration means. So it is the option number 2, that is 1 5 6 4. It is the critical path. So this critical path consists of critical activities. In this case, it is 1 5 5 6 6 4. These three are the critical activities. Means that delay in the start of 1 5 5 6 and 6 4 will delay the entire project completion times. That is the critical activities. Remaining all other activities are our non-critical activities. So this is the critical activities. These are very important. So we should pay much attention to these critical activities so that the entire project is completed within the stipulated time. This we follow in critical path method. CPM stands for critical path method. So there are different steps also. Different steps how to determine the critical path. As in this case, I have taken three options and calculated the day. Similarly, what is the actual way to compute the critical path? We can see that. So this is all about our critical and non-critical activity relates to our the critical path. Now as the steps are, first we have to calculate the time schedule for each activity. We have to compute earliest start time, earliest finish time, latest start time and latest finish time. These four kind of times we have to compute for each and every activity. That I'll teach you how to compute it. These are the time schedule for each activity: EST, EST, EFT, LST and LFT. So these we have to compute it, and then we have to calculate these are the four things: EST, EFT, LST and LFT. For each activity we have to compute all these four time schedules. EST is the earliest start time. That means earliest start time, latest start time, earliest finish time and latest finish time. So So these influences our project completion times. Then we have to calculate the project completion time, then identify the critical activities and find the critical path. So these are the 3 steps to determine the critical path. Time schedules we will make, project completion time we can get it, then identify the critical activities and find the critical path. And different terms used are total project time is the duration of the critical path. You see, I am drawing. And you can see this activity. This is I to J event I connected by duration D and earliest start time. Earliest start time, you can see that EI, LJ. So earliest start time is the time at which an activity can start, and it is calculated by moving from first to last event in the network diagram. If more than one activity converges, then higher EI values are chosen. So when we will work out, you can see how I am calculating the earliest start time or EI. EI is a symbol used for earliest start time ith node, earliest start time at ith node. So it can be computed in while we go in the forward direction. You can see this is network. First block is for earliest, E stands for your earliest time, and next block stands for latest. So first one for 1-2 node, E stands for your earliest start time, and next is the, you can see if only one activity converges on an event, its earliest start time is given by EI of tail event plus activity duration. If more than one activity converges on it, then higher EI value is chosen. So these things we will be coming across while working out the network timing. So this is the earliest start time. So earliest start time, then earliest start time, then we used to, next box is our latest start time. So latest possible time by which an activity can start, it is the latest start time. So I am working out one problem. Write down the problem. A project schedule has the following characteristics. Activity and time. So by this example, your doubts will be cleared. Activity and duration is given in days. So this is the problem. So these are the different activities and times. The first question is you construct the network. Then second, you have to draw by means of nodes and activities. So here I am drawing it. This starts with activity 1, 2, and this arrow symbol is, it should be given. It should not be a line, it should be an arrow showing the direction in which the process moves. For 1, 2, direction is 4, just we will put the duration D. Duration is denoted by small d. We will just write above the arrow which shows the duration. Then we are having another activity 1, 3. Its time is 1, just we will put it. Then 2, 4, activity duration is 1 day. Then 3, 4, duration is 1 day. 3, 5, activity 3, 5. This is likewise you will complete the entire network. So this is the network is now complete. So first part, that is construct the network, that we have already done, and we have put all the times over the network. Then second part of the question is compute E and L for each event. E stands for earliest and latest time for each event. That means I have already told you that these are the 4 timings. Time schedules are earliest start time, earliest finish time, latest start time, and latest finish time. We have to determine all. Then third one is find critical path. Critical path is the longest path of the network. So we have dealt with earliest start time. So earliest start time, it is the time at which an activity can start, and it is calculated by moving from first to last event in the network. We can see that this is 1 2. The first block I'm dividing into 2 blocks at each node. At each node you're seeing 2 blocks. So first block is our E, timing is E because it is starting from first node, it is EST, and the second block is our LST, by earliest start time and latest start time, and this gives you the latest finish time. This is the earliest start time by which the project can start, and this is the latest, then it is the earliest finish time, then latest start time and latest finish time. It is seen that earliest start time by which the project can start, that means node 1, and the latest start time by which it can start. Beyond that it cannot be started. Then earliest start time will give you the earliest finish time, that is EFT, and latest start time will give you the latest finish time. So these are the 4 timings that are given to you, and you have to compute and make it in boxes. First you will get the EST, second you will get the LFT, first and EST and LFT. Then after that, by using the durations, you can get LST and EFT, and by default the node 1 will be starting at 0 0 in all the problems. So these are the 4 timings. Again for 2 to 4, see the for node 2 you can see that node 2 it was your EFT and LFT. When you consider 3-4 activity, it will be the EST and LST. So every time what happens here, EFT and LFT are converted into EST and LST. The values will be same for 1 2, for activity 1 2, second node is the EFT and LFT, whereas for the 2 4 activity, node 2 is the EST and LST of activity 2 4. So every time it is going to change. Now you will draw like all you will at every event or node you will make boxes for E and L. E is the earliest timing, L is the, that's why I'm not using start and finish, only earliest and latest. Earliest and latest for each and every node we will be determining it. This is E, this is L, latest. This is E, this is L. So in this way, at each and every node you have to make the boxes. Now go to the question. So we're starting with 0 0. I have told you starting node will be always 0 0. 0 0 will move from 1 2. That means our first activity is our 1 2. 1 to 0 plus 4, your timing is 4. So earliest start time for node 1 is 0, means for second node it will be reaching at 4 days. It is days is 4. Then for 2 4 your timing is 1 day. 4 plus, that is 4. 4 plus 1, it will be your equal to 5. Yes, 5 is the one option. Another option we can get through 1, we can reach 4 by 1 2 1 2 2 4, then 1 3 3 4. 1 3 we have got 0 plus 1 1, then 1 plus 1 again 1, this one plus this one 2, 1 plus 1 2. So we got two options to reach the node 4, 5 and 2. But we have to rule says we have to choose the maximum one. Out of 5 and 2, 5 is greater, so we'll be using we'll allotting 5 as earliest timing at node 4. See, in the rule I have already written, if more than one activity converges on it, then the higher EI value is chosen. So that's why I have taken higher value, that is 5. Then from then we will go for the next activity. Next activity is 3 to 4 we have completed. 3 to 5, 3 to 5 it is 6. So out of we have already dealt with that. Then this is 5 plus 5, it is 10. We are taking 4 9 activity. 5 plus 5 10, no other connections. And if you see, for reach the end node you are having 3 routes, that is through 4 9 10, through then 1 1, that was 3 5 6 8 10, then 3 5 7 8 10. So it is node 3 5, it is 1 plus 6, it is 7, no other interconnectivity is there. For 8, 7 plus 8 15. For node 8 we have two options, 15 plus 2 17. Another we have to first compute the 5 at 6 node. 7 plus 4 it is 11, then 11 plus 1 it is 12. So out of 17 and 12, 17 is maximum, so we'll be giving 17. Not node 10, 17 plus 5 it is 22, one option, 22, 22, and another is 10 plus 7 17. From 9 to 10 we are getting 17, and from 8 to 10 we are getting 17 plus 5 22. 22 is maximum, so we have written 22. And for latest time, as it ends at 22, means it should be 22. So in this way we have seen, we have used by using maximum value, earlier start time. So next we have to fill the latest time for at each and every node. While calculating the latest time, we will go for the backward calculation. That means from point number 10 to point 1. Then these are the terms. Earliest, we have got the earliest start time. Earliest finish time we can compute by using by adding the duration 4. So in all cases we are getting the earliest start time and earliest finish time. Then latest start time, then we have to compute the latest finish time. Latest finish time we can compute It is latest by which an activity must be completed so that the project is not delayed beyond its targeted completion time. It is calculated by moving backward in the network diagram. And if only one activity emanates from one event, we compute Lj by subtracting activity duration from Lj of its head event. Okay, and if we go for the backward calculation, and if more than one activity emanates, that is an important thing, from an event, compute Lj for all and choose the smallest one. Whereas in case of earliest start time, we have chosen the highest one. In this case, for latest finish time, we will choose the smallest one. Latest timing, first one is go backward. These two are the conditions. We should go for the backward direction and choose the smallest one among many options. Smallest timing. Now we will work out the same problem. We'll come to that problem. So here it will be obviously 22, means it will be latest finish time will be 22. E and L, so this is 22. We will go in the backward direction. That means from 10 to 9, 10 to 8. Then this is 22. L is 22, 22. Then 22 minus 7. We can go in this way, backward. See, latest start time we get minus duration. So it is 22 minus duration is your 7. Because for 9, 10 node, just beside 10, this one is the latest start time, and so 22 is the latest finish time. So we get it by subtracting from duration. 22 minus 7, it is 15. Now this is 17, just backward. Then at node 8 it is 17 minus 2, 15. All I have filled it up. Then it is 16. 17 minus 1, 16. Here at 5 you get the two options, 15 minus 8. 15 minus 8 you get 7. One option. Another you got 16 minus 4, it is 12. Out of two option, our rule says you should choose the smallest. So 7 is the smallest one. So you will fill at node 5, latest start time is 7. Now here you can 15 minus 5, 10. 10 minus 1, at node 2 it is 9. I think all just are at 3. So 7 minus 6, it is 1. Now we have finished the entire network. All EST, all earliest and latest times we have filled. This we have completed. We have used all. Now we have to determine the critical path. So critical path, here we can see where E and L are same numbers. That may be the one of the critical activities. Here you can see that for this is one of the way, but I'll tell you, if there are more than one options, then you have to compute the total float. That I'll teach you in the next video. But here there is only one option. You can have we have to determine the first critical activities. You can see that activity 1, 3 having nodes 0, 0 and 1, 1. That means at both the nodes we have earliest and latest time same, 0, 0, 1, 1. So it shows one of the critical activities. So 1, 3 is one of the critical activity. One of the critical activities, 1, 3. So that's why it is one of the critical activities. Then you can see 3, 5. Node 3 earliest and latest times are 1, 1 and fifth node 7, 7. It is also one of the critical activities. Then 5, 7, 7, 7, 15, 15. Then node 8, 15, 15, 17, 17. Then 8 to 10 critical activity, 17, 17, 20, 22, 22, 22. So these critical activities will make you the critical path. So you will join all, that is 1, 3, first critical activity. 1 3 3 5 5 7 7 8 8 10. 8 10 is also there. Okay. It should be 7 8, also 8 10. I have not written here, but you guys please add it. It is 1 3 5 7 8 and 10, comprising of your critical activities.